Welcome to Live with Aaron and Kelly. I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez. We have joined with us today one of entertainment industry's most versatile talents. He's not only best known as Jay Peterman on Seinfeld, but he's also the original Ultimate Champion on Dancing with the Stars, a genuine dog lover. He's the author of 2 humorous books about living with his dogs and his son, Will. John O'Hurley returns as the 11th annual edition of the National Dog Show presented by Purina. Welcome to the show, John.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on today.
Yes, absolutely. Now, how exciting to be able to, first of all, be asked back to another year of the dog show. But, you really enjoy this job, don't you?
I do. I have a lot of fun. This is one of my favorite days of the year. And the show has become such a success across the country. On Thanksgiving Day, between 12 and 2, we have an audience of anywhere from 20 to 25 million people, and to celebrate one of the great days and the most prestigious titles in the world of dog showing. And it's really developed itself into quite a nice piece of entertainment and a Thanksgiving Day tradition.
Well, I have to say, usually my tradition is Twilight Zone, but I know last year I checked out the show as well, and there was a big upset for me because it was between an Australian Shepherd, several other breeds, and the only one that won was the Fox Terrier. Was that your choice?
Well, you have to, as I say, it may not be everyone's favorite breed, but every dog that's there has to conform to a written set of standards for each breed. And so for the breed, it was the best of the breeds. And, you have to kind of trust the judge in the arena that they know what they're doing, because they have to have an extraordinarily thick database there to be able to offer their perspective. But it's a fun day as well. And you'll sit back and you did exactly what everybody else will do when they watch, is really have the alma mater factor. The dog that's next to you is the one you hope that wins.
Yeah, and what I love about the show is no dog goes away a sore loser. They are all happy in the end. But
the dogs don't, ultimately, the dogs don't care. They just are having a great day, and they certainly recognize the excitement and the significance of the day, because they feel the energy that's in the room, and they correspond with that too. They react with that way as well. They're always kind of perky and on their best behavior. We can put 2,000 dogs in a room and there's no dog fighting.
And that's interesting, really. I know some dogs that are not very well behaved. They'll fight with their co-dog, over food. So all of these are very well behaved.
These are very well disciplined and very well trained dogs, and it's a credit to what the AKC is all about responsible dog owners. And a good dog is a well-trained dog.
Now, in the intro, I'd say how you're a versatile talent. For those that don't know, and of course, John, please forgive me for throwing it all out there. But John, you're not only, I only thought of you really as the actor on Seinfeld, but after looking at your background, not only being a business entrepreneur, owning several businesses, being a musical lover, being a self-taught pianist, and composing music, I even saw your Twitter, and you have every day something going on in one part of the U.S. and traveling. First of all, are you left-handed or right-handed?
I'm left-handed, yeah. Ah,
see, okay, I'm left-handed too.
That comes as no surprise.
No, it doesn't. But tell our listeners, what part, if you had to do just one thing, and I realize it's so difficult with all the things, what would you never want to give up?
I never want to give up the writing and the writing, the speaking, and the composing. I enjoy that very much. I like writing the books that I've written. I enjoy, and I love composing. It's kind of a private joy of mine as well.
Yeah, and speaking of which,
I do a lot of motivational speaking as well.
Yes, you do, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that since we have you here. You had mentioned in one interview about living an ordinary and an extraordinary life, and I believe you have a book coming out about that. Can you tell us about that?
That's kind of the nature of really kind of the core of what I speak about. Just the idea that, and it helps people with have kind of a guideline or a gauge for how they're living their life. And my premise is that you have 2 choices in life. You can have an ordinary life, or you can have an extraordinary life. And it's not about trying to match your life against someone else's. It's about what are the methods by which you can go to live your life extraordinarily. And as I speak and as I write, I give certain guidelines by which you should be kind of measuring your life in terms of living it by imagination, by contemplation, and by appreciation.
Now, you obviously have had an extraordinary life, and many people obviously balk at that, saying, well, that's impossible with, you know, the life that I have right now. What are like 3 things that perhaps somebody can institute right now to start having that extraordinary life that they want?
Well, again, it's living your life extraordinarily, not somebody else's idea of what an extraordinary life should be. It's not about bungee jumping or extreme sports.
Thank God.
It's about just taking your life,
right.
and the first premise is by living by your imagination, doing what your imagination tells you you should be doing. When you're daydreaming, your body and your mind are telling you exactly the next step in your life. And the only time you listen to that is through the second step, which is the sense of stillness. You have to be quiet in order for your imagination to work. And the third step is through appreciation, that you have to give back in the measure that you've been given. So essentially those are the 3 steps in a nutshell of what I believe the extraordinary life is all about. And I can go into it in greater detail. I can write books on it or speak for hours on it. But in a nutshell, that's what it is. Imagination, appreciation, and contemplation. So
when's your next book out on this subject?
I'm going to be, I have the book in outline form right now, and as I speak on it across the country, I will be, hopefully have something out by the end of the year.
Awesome, awesome. Now, you as well, I have to talk about this. You have a couple of books already out on It's Okay to Miss the Bed on the First Jump, which I thought was a fantastic title, and I'm going to get the book, but can you tell our readers, for those that haven't gotten it yet, what they can expect from that book?
Sure. I've written 2 bestsellers, New York Times bestsellers, and they basically are taking the world of dogs and kind of gleaning life lessons for humans from the behavior of dogs. And it seems to have, gotten quite a nice audience for them. In the first book, it was called, You're Right, It's Okay to Miss the Bed on the First Jump, and the other life lessons I've learned from my dogs. And they're observations that of the life lessons that dogs teach us if we're careful enough to observe. Lessons like the fact that dogs live in the present moment. They have no idea of what the past is and no idea what the future is. So they're there to live in the present moment. They can look you straight in the eye and give you full attention, which unfortunately humans cannot do. We have a tendency to gauge the conversation that we're in against the possible conversations going on in the room around us as to which is the most interesting. But dogs don't do that. They give us their full attention, and they live outside of time, which is the best place to do.
That's so true, and I can appreciate that, as I try to always zero in on the person in front of me, but I have to admit my ears sometimes are always listening to others to figure it out, and it's true, we got to be in the moment. Now, you got quite a few fans. A lot of them, are saying, we actually posted that we were going to speak with you. Charmy Zara Perez says, tell Earl Hurley I love him, and she's all the way from Malaysia. I mean, being a world-known not only actor, but great businessman, as well as all these other things. What do you really want people to remember about you?
Well, I would like to leave the legacy of the extraordinary life behind me. I also, I'm working on some business technologies right now, which I think are culture changing. One of them being a technology for disposing of waste and turning it into large forms of energy without any emissions. And so that will be to me that will be if I can accomplish that as I plan to over the next year, then I think I've and if on top of all of that I could make a few people laugh for a little bit of time, then I've had a great life. Well,
fantastic. We want to talk to you more about that. We know we've got to let you go. Thank you so very much, John, for taking a moment with us here on our show, and best wishes to you.
We'll see you on Thanksgiving Day at the National Dog Show.
Thank you.